Good evening and welcome to the second annual public meeting of the Salisbury-Wicomico Youth Civics Council. Thank you for being here this evening. The mission of the my name is Geraldine Adams. I'm serving as the program coordinator this year. This is made possible by the City of Salisbury, the Mayor's Office, the Wicomico Partnership for Families and Children, the Community Foundation of the Eastern Shore, and ShoreCorps PALS, the AmeriCorps program housed here at Salisbury University. The mission of the Youth Civics Council is to mobilize and empower the youth of our community by providing meaningful opportunities to engage in civic leadership and service. The students in the Youth Civics Council strive to make a difference in the community, to have their voice heard in local affairs, to develop leadership and communication skills, to work on action projects and proposals, and to serve the community. This is the third year of the Salisbury-Wicomico Youth Civics Council in our community. This year's focus has been on learning about community issues, community engagement, service learning, and building connections with local nonprofits and community leaders. Throughout the council year, guest speakers from local nonprofits have come into the Youth Civics Council meetings to speak with council members about local issues in our community. This guided council members as they researched and wrote proposals about community issues and as they engaged in service learning projects. Guest speakers and service projects were correlated to one another so that council members could begin to understand community issues in their systemic contexts. Our guest speakers included Donna Clark of HOPE, Ron Pagano of From Roots to Wings Incorporated, Michelle Sevigny of the Wicomico County Humane Society, and many others. Our service projects included serving a meal at God's Kitchen in December, helping sort donations with From Roots to Wings, making care packages for the homeless in our community, visiting the Humane Society to walk dogs, and helping to paint a mural on the center branch of the Wicomico Library System. During this council year, collectively, the Youth Civics Council members have completed over 200 hours of service to the Youth Civics Council and to our community. The students of the Youth Civics Council this year, they have a passion for the community and a passion for inspiring positive change. This year's group represents students from Bennett, Parkside, and Wicomico High Schools, as well as Salisbury Christian School and Mardella Middle and High. Again, thank you for coming out this evening to support the Youth Civics Council as they present their community proposals. It's my pleasure now to introduce Mayor Jake Day to make some opening remarks.
Geraldine, thank you very much. It's an honor to be here with you again. I want to say thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedules to be a part of this. 3 years ago, I guess it was, is that right, Thea? 3 years ago, we, the City of Salisbury, started this program. We hired Theo to be our second program, that's right, second program coordinator. It feels like you've been there forever, Theo. Doing good things. To be our second program coordinator, and now Theo is a city employee. So, Geraldine, keep us in mind in the future. That being said, it's incredible to me that not only are 5 of our schools represented throughout the region, both public and private institutions, but that there were a dozen members of the class and of the program this year. Really incredible to me in this third year, and then how much service you did in addition to engaging in creative thinking about how you would better your community. Providing 200 hours, is that right? Do I understand 200 hours of community service in the context of also improving yourself and your engagement with your own community is pretty powerful to me. But let's focus for a second on what that means to be focused on planning the future of this community. Yesterday, I was with Julia Glanz, our Assistant City Administrator, and our Public Information Officer over at Bennett High School. We were in the Memorial Garden space and just thinking about how one class at one time built something physically that exists today and is being celebrated and added to today. And you look back and you think, well, maybe I'll leave my high school and I'll move to, New York City or Washington, D.C., and I'll go do big things, right? And, I won't even think about my hometown. But this is your place. This place belongs to you more than it does any other person. This is your hometown. You are from here. And maybe you were born somewhere else. Maybe you spent the first few years of your life somewhere else. I know we've had mayors and leaders who grew up in other towns, but then they moved here early in their life, just like you. And this became an important place for them. So I encourage you to think about, even if you go away to New York or DC or College Park or wherever it may be, come back and take care of this place. You've been doing the thinking, and I know you're going to talk tonight about what this place could be improved by, what this community could be improved by. And I think it's important, and this was the original intent of the program, to say, if the future is engaged in the planning process for our community's future, we're going to be better off. And potentially, you'll recognize that we believe in you. We believe in you right now. We want you to stay here. We want your talent to never leave this place. So I want to say I appreciate you. I thank you for everything you've been doing. I want to say thank you to parents in the room. Thank you so much for supporting young people, supporting your kids, and being mentors and leaders. I didn't realize until recently what I got, not only from parents, but from teachers, from coaches, from mentors that were in this place. I didn't realize what an advantage I had when I look and compare this community to other places. You know, there were a lot of wonderful adults in this community. And I realized I got a leg up because of that. So these young people, these bright young people are getting a leg up because of you. So thank you for that. Thank you for being here tonight and supporting them. I look forward to hearing and learning more about your suggestions, and believe me, we will. We'll also make sure every city council member, every county council member, and the county executive see your ideas and your suggestions. And we're going to talk to them individually about it. So thank you again, and I'm very, very proud of you. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Mayor Dave, for taking the time to come out and support our group. And also, special thanks to PAC 14 for being here to record our event. It will be available online after it's edited, so thank you for being here. In addition to regular meetings, engaging with guest speakers, and participating in service projects, members of the Youth Civics Council have identified and researched local issues. Many of the students also moved beyond just identifying those issues and began to develop plans to alleviate those issues. And it's my pleasure now to introduce them to you to present their community proposals.
Hi, my name is Dee Abraham. I'm a junior at Parkside High.
Hi, my name is Mike Lee, and I'm a senior at James Bennett High.
Hi, my name is Josh Yoon, and I'm a junior at Parkside High School.
Hi, my name is Daniel Jung, and I'm from Parkside.
The problem that we identified was in regards to AP testing. Before we get started, I'd like you to consider the cost of a new iPhone. Most parents are not too keen on spending $200 for a new gadget. However, the price of a new gadget quickly pales in comparison to that which many students are forced to pay every year for AP testing. AP courses, considered to be a vital indicator of college readiness, have become a typical component of the high school career of many students. Gone are the days of honors classes, as more and more students are taking AP classes in their schools. The College Board recently announced that just in the past decade, student enrollment in AP classes has tripled. These students, driven by the rising competitiveness of the college admissions process, often load their schedule with multiple college-level courses and spend countless hours completing the intense course material. However, the problem lies not in the intensive coursework, but rather, the problem lies in the fact that the families are forced to dig into their wallets to do so.
The College Board lists several benefits to taking AP exams. They allow students to stand out in college admissions, earn college credit, skip introductory classes, and build valuable college-level academic skills. However, as one exam alone costs $92, the price of taking these exams can quickly exceed the budget of many households. In fact, just this year, for the four of us, our families collectively have had to spend nearly $1,500 in AP testing. This luxury, unfortunately, is not available to all students. We have personally talked to many students who have been forced into a situation where they are unable to take the test. Sebastian Melendez, a 12th grade student at James Bennett High School, was faced with this situation last year. The high fees you have to pay for AP exams are extremely unreasonable for students whose parents live and work paycheck to paycheck. After having spent nearly countless hours studying the course material, these students are denied many fruitions of their hard work simply because of their family's economic condition. This disadvantage is especially important when considering the number of students in Wetumpka County that may potentially suffer from this injustice. If we are to make Wetumpka County a place where all students have equal opportunities, we must make sure students whose families cannot afford to pay for AP exams are able to receive financial aid in the form of a scholarship.
According to the United States Census, 17.4% of individuals in Salisbury live below the poverty line. The percentage of Maryland public schools students living in poverty has more than doubled since 1990, from 22% to 45%, putting our statewide student population on the verge of becoming majority low income. For many students, the decision to take AP tests is not based on knowledge of the subject, but the income of their families. The cost of AP tests strikes middle-class families the hardest. Lower middle-class families do not qualify for subsidized test programs, yet the cost of $92 per test is a substantial economic burden. To counteract this issue, we have to set up infrastructure to allow us to award scholarships to highly motivated students who simply cannot afford these tests. With an application process that requires the students provide the grades in the class, teacher signature, community service, environment information, and an essay, and teacher recommendations, students will have the opportunity to earn scholarships to help pay for these AP exams. From the pool of applicants, we, Salisbury Wacomico Youth Civics Council, will decide the awardees of the scholarship. To ensure objectivity, applicants will be anonymous and applicants will be funneled through our program coordinator. In order to fund this proposal, if possible, part of our council budget will be delegated to the endeavor. Members of this project will also fundraise. We'll hold car washes and school drives to fund our mission.
Okay, so as students strive to meet the rigors of the competitive world, we want to provide avenues to help accomplish this task. By doing so, we hope to instill a sense of community and support. We want students to know that their voices are heard loud and clear. Just as the community has supported our futures and changed our lives, we hope that through this project, when students come back to Salisbury, they're inspired to make it a better place. Yeah. Hi, my name is Josh Union.
Hi, my name's Ahmed, and I'm from Parkside High School, and I'm a junior.
So what we did this year was we tried to implement recycling at Parkside High School again. And so why does recycling matter at Parkside in the world? So I think we all know why recycling is important, but just to reiterate, as of last year, less than a third of U.S. households and a tenth of businesses recycle, according to The Economist. And if 3 out of 4 households started recycling, it would reduce carbon emissions by the equivalent of taking 50 million cars out of circulation, or about 20% of the cars off the road right now. And so what we have done so far, Ahmed can talk about that.
These are some of the pictures that we took while working with the Environmental Club at Parkside. They're a new organization for this year as well. And you can see with the one all the way to the left, there's Josh folding together a tomato crate, and I'm stacking them up near the center, and I'm painting them all the way to the right. And with these tomato crates, we wanted to have basically a recycling bin that was just as sustainable as what we were going to recycle, and we wanted to recycle paper. And so we figured if we're going to start off with paper, we don't want plastic containers, because that would be very expensive for our school. That would be harder to get funding for, and also that's not really like environmentally sound. So instead, we talked with the horticulture teacher at Parkside, and we managed to get mini tomato crates to put all throughout Parkside High School, so teachers could start recycling again.
So, in addition to that, Parkside is trying to become a green school, and the 4 pillars of a green school include a toxic-free environment, a green healthy space such as a community garden, which we have completed at Parkside this year, and the education of students of the environment and the recycling of materials. And what Ahmed and I did was we took initiative on the recycling aspect of the 4 pillars. And to conclude, when people work together to catalyze change, a bond is created within the community. And as a student body, when we help preserve the world that we live in, even greater change is stimulated. So appreciation, compassion, and a sense of belonging is established through activities that benefit society as a whole. And not only will this project contribute to the needs of the environment, but we hope that it will instill a sense of pride in the community. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Skylar Sample. I'm an 11th grader at Wycomico High School. And my proposal is on the revitalization of Salisbury's industrial park. So Salisbury, as we know, is the largest city on Maryland's Eastern Shore, thus serving as the unofficial capital of the Eastern Shore. This also means that the city serves as a commercial hub of not only the Eastern Shore of Maryland, but also the Delmarva Peninsula. So it's very important for our city to promote economic growth and business opportunity in order to maintain a status as the economic hub of the shore. In order to maximize business growth, it must be our duty to increase efforts to attract large corporations to the area. So, according to the Forbes list, Salisbury ranks, as you can see, and out of 200, we rank 172nd amongst the best places for doing business and for career readiness, 160th in job growth, 84th in doing business, and 162nd in education. And also, as of March of this year, Salisbury's unemployment rate stands at 6.7%. So, my solution for this is, in order to quickly and effectively revitalize Salisbury's industrial park, our city's leaders must come together to provide the resources that are necessary to make this proposition successful. Now, what this can include would be increasing, for the youth, this would include increasing enrollment in programs such as STEM, also after-school activities, and summer programs that are specifically designed to prepare a child for college and career readiness for the world's competitive economy. And for the working class, through programs such as seminars, job fairs, and career days, these are all things that large corporations see as a plus for them as what they want and the qualities of a working class citizen today.
Hello. I'm Savannah Scott, a 9th grader at James M. Bennett High. I would like to talk to you about a mobile pet adoption center. One day, I was trying to drive to the Humane Society so I could volunteer to walk some dogs. And on the way there, I noticed it was very hard and difficult to get there. We missed the turn, ended up having to turn around, go back, and by the time we got there, we were very discouraged, and it kind of it didn't strengthen our morale. And that got me wondering, how are people supposed to adopt animals if they can't even see the animals very well and can't even get to the Humane Society? So this is when I got the idea of a mobile adoption center. It would be used to transport animals to the people so then they could see them better. It's kind of like how corporations do with advertising. They drill advertisements into your head so then when you think of them, you think of their product and you would want to buy it. This would kind of be like the mobile adoption center. You would see the mobile adoption center around Salisbury and around Wycomico County, and so it would be in the back of your head, and then when you would think, hey, I want to adopt, I could just go to the mobile adoption center, and it makes it so much easier. This would benefit the county as well as the Humane Society, because the mobile adoption center would cause less animals in the shelter because they would be adopted, and that would cause less spending for the Humane Society, which the county could use the saved money to benefit other programs. And also, more animals get adopted, so it's just a win-win for everybody. These are some maps. These are some maps of the Humane Society, which is the Gold Star, compared to the Wycomico County on the left and City of Salisbury on the right. As you can see, the Humane Society isn't very centrally located. So, say if you're in Sharptown or Powellville, it would be very hard to get an animal and to adopt an animal there. And so a mobile adoption center would make this much easier because the mobile adoption center could go just to Sharptown with some animals, people could see them, and motivate people to adopt. And the second image, that Salisbury is kind of the center of Wycomico County, and it is still a 15 to 20 minute drive from the center of Salisbury to the Salisbury Wycomico Humane Society. So if it's not even really close to the main point of Wycomico County, then it's not very encouraging to adopt. So the mobile adoption center would help this issue. These are some images of the Carroll County mobile trailer, which we would base ours off of. It can hold about a dozen animals, 17 by 18 foot trailer, and is specially equipped for transporting animals to make sure they're safe and temperature controlled so they don't get too hot or too cold in the winter. See, Carroll County has on their website a calendar with dates and locations where their mobile adoption center could be. So if you wanted to go and adopt an animal, you could find the date that worked for you and go check them out. It's a very good system, and their adoptions have increased because of this, and so the Salisbury Wycomico Humane Society could also increase from this piece of equipment. The trailer I showed you cost about $40,000, and to get this, I plan to apply for grants such as Community Foundation and others to raise money. So also, I have started a GoFundMe for this, so if you would like to donate, that would be much appreciated. And so hopefully, thank you for your time, and hopefully you'll see a mobile adoption center on the road soon.
Hello, my name is Steve Lee, and I am a junior at Wycomico High School. And I would like to start by giving two claims. They are same but different. 외국어 공부는 일찍 시작할수록 더 좋다고 알려져 있습니다. Se sabe que el estudio de otras lenguas tiene mejores resultados si se empieza a una edad temprana. So how did that make you feel? Maybe you were confused, intimidated, curious, or intrigued. Or maybe you're one of those people who take offense in any foreign language because you think it's somebody cursing you out. So make sure and reassure you that I did not insult anyone. This is what it means in English. It is well known that starting studies of other languages at earlier age is better. So why do we care about foreign language? Well, there are many benefits to learning foreign languages, such as higher score on tests such as ACT or SAT, showing higher academic performance, and displaying improved cognitive abilities, memory, problem-solving ability, and verbal and spatial skills. And I would like to do some math, and I kind of want your participation. What is 4 plus 3? 7. What is 4 times 3? 12. If x plus 8 is equal to 13, what is the value of x? 5. So what is the derivative of arcsine of square root of x? Do you have any takers? It's not integral. It's 1 over 2 square roots of x minus x squared. So why could you answer the addition question but not answer the derivative question? It's because of 2 reasons. You've learned addition when you were younger and have practiced it ever since. And secondly, it's difficult to it's a rough transition from addition to calculus. And just like any other learning of foreign languages should be gradually done. For example, how we teach Spanish right now is we start out with basics such as alphabets, we teach greetings, and we learn to conjugate verbs. And then this year I was thrown this paragraph. Would anyone like to translate that for me? See, it's kind of difficult to go from alphabets and the basics and then suddenly transition abruptly into difficult and more complex ideas. And this is a map of Europe. And it's color-coded by the years that they are required to study foreign languages, and orange countries require at least 1 year of another study of language, and no, they require at least 1 study of other languages, and green countries require at least 2 studies of other languages. And you can see that even England, where English is the dominant language, requires at least 1 foreign language study. This is a chart published by the Pew Research Center, which shows the age at which the students must learn the foreign language. And you see that by age of 9, most countries start learning their foreign language, and even Belgium starts at 3, at a really early age. Whereas in Salisbury, the earliest possible time that a student has access to foreign language learning is during 7th grade, which is approximately age of 12 or 13, which is past your critical period to learn language, and it takes more conscious effort, and it's just difficult to learn the language. So why do we have to learn it earlier? Well, there are many studies published about this topic, but this is one of the studies, and this is what the chart that was adopted from one of the studies, and it charts the gray matter. And gray matter is the region in the brain in which that consists of neurons and facilitates cognitive and mental processes. And you can see that more proficient you are in second language, your gray matter density tends to be higher. Whereas if you acquire your second language later, your gray density matter tends to be lower. This shows that earlier you start, more proficient you will be, and more gray matter density you would have, and therefore more improved cognitive abilities you would display. So I've talked to Ms. Harlan, the supervisor of English and World Languages, about this topic, and I originally intended to implement foreign language courses in elementary schools. However, I learned that it was difficult to do so with our current context. So we concluded that we should promote the familiarity of foreign languages by starting out with adding the foreign language component into the after-school programs or outside school programs such as Kids Club, NAST, or at Epoch Dream Center, but with the help of tutors such as those from the local language clubs like Spanish National Honor Society and French National Honor Society. I've contacted local school officials to inquire more about these programs and have gotten positive responses. I look forward to working with them during the summer and possibly having it implemented next year. And with every action, there should be a good vision and a good goal. And what I hope to achieve through this project, there are 3 things that I would like to achieve through this process. Firstly, I would like to encourage familiarity and comfortability of foreign language with the students. I see too many of my peers having difficulty with basics of language, or having or being afraid to speak the language. And I hope that by starting at earlier time, they will be able to speak more comfortably and have more experience. And secondly, I would like to boost interest and ability, meaning that study of the language when they start earlier should be more about fun and learning rather than just a grade. And thirdly, I would like to establish the strong foundation so that they could advance further into courses such as AP Spanish, AP French without much difficulty and with a lot of confidence. Thank you.
So right now, I'm wearing a tie that I bought at a nearby department store, shoes that I bought from its competitors, and socks that, well, I'm not really sure where I bought these socks, but I'm fairly confident that I purchased them at a business as well. This is true of not only my clothes, but nearly every product I've interacted with in my life. To present it modestly, business is important. It is important for the functioning of our nation's industry, which is often maintained by private contractors. And it is important for us, the average citizens, who are the consumers of countless goods and products. Given the pervasiveness of business in our society, I presume that raising our next generation of entrepreneurs would be of the utmost priority. As an aspiring entrepreneur myself, however, I was dismayed to find out that not only was there a lack of available classes for you to learn about business and financial knowledge that would be vital for any adult's lifestyle, but also that after-school programs for students interested in entrepreneurship were virtually non-existent. The effect of this is quite visible in not only in our youth, but also in America in general. The S&P conducted a test to quantify the state of financial literacy in America, and the results were, well, disappointing to say the least. 2 out of 3 Americans failed this test. Now, when I initially heard this, I presumed that it would be a highly technical test, one that's filled with jargon that's unimportant to the lives of any but a select few. However, that was not the case. The test didn't assess whether or not people could analyze stock market trends or things like that. It tested whether or not people could differentiate between needs and wants, whether or not people knew that compound interest means the amount of money you gain increases each year. These aren't arbitrary pieces of knowledge. They're pieces of knowledge that every American needs to possess in order to be financially secure in their lives. The problem stems from our failure to start with the youth. An international study conducted by the OECD revealed that not only did American students have a poor understanding of finance, they actually scored below the international average. In fact, the top 5% of American students received scores equivalent to the 50th percentile of students from China. How can we expect to be a frontrunner in the global economy if our youth are not being taught how to manage their money? How can we expect consumer debt to recover from the current $11.52 trillion without teaching the future generation of adults to know how to balance a checkbook? How can we, as a local city and county, claim to be preparing our students for their future when we're neglecting a very important aspect of their curriculum? To that end, I hope to start a club. This club will start as an entrepreneurship and finance interest club, in which I hope to invite speakers and to have meetings so that my peers may be educated in a way that will interest them. Once this club has been expanded to the other high schools in Wycomico County, we will be able to establish a charter for a nationwide known organization called DECA. Already available in 3,500 schools throughout the country, DECA clubs allow students to not only learn about leadership, finance, marketing, and entrepreneurship, but it also enables them to participate in various competitions and events. An after-school club is only a short-term solution. If we aim to change the situation of financial literacy in our youth, we must find a means to educate more students. The best way, I believe, would be to offer a financial literacy course. Many schools have already established DECA courses and have experienced profound success with it. While I do not believe Wycomico County must institute an identical course, I do believe it is imperative to have a financial literacy course within our schools. This will take time, money, and a lot of other resources. But if we wish to better prepare our future generations, to give them an improved future, that is a sacrifice we must make. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Banuja Munasinghe. I'm a sophomore at James and Bennett High School. My proposal today is swim team for Wycomico County Public Schools. USA swimmers bring Olympic gold medals home every time in past years. Data indicates that 12 out of 16 top male gold medalists and 6 out of 15 top female gold medalists are from the USA from 1972 to the present. Swimming burns a lot of calories, helps increase mobility, and improves muscular strength, and is one of those activities you can do in your old age. As we all know, swimming is a fun sport. It is also a good aerobic exercise which can reduce death rates. A study conducted with 40,000 males between the ages of 20 to 90 years old had found that swimmers have a 50% lower death rate than runners, walkers, and those who do not exercise at all. According to Richard Will, today swimming is the second most popular exercise activity in the United States, with approximately 360 million annual visits to recreational water venues such as swim clubs, recreational centers, Ys, and many other facilities that feature swimming pools. Some high schools in Maryland that also have swimming pools include Thomas Stone High School, St. Charles High School, and Henry Lackey High School. The objective of this proposal is to introduce high school swim teams to Wacomico County Public Schools in order to improve student participation in this great sport. In most high schools, you are able to find a soccer team, a football team, a basketball team, a tennis team, etc. But a major sport that all schools seem to lack in Wacomico County is swim teams. This is because swimming has become one of the most expensive sports in Wacomico County, for which each swimmer has to spend approximately $800 to be a member of a swim team. This immense payment causes swimmers to be discouraged and think about finding a different sport. There are two ways to initiate this project. The first method is that swimmers coming from all high schools practice at the same time under the supervision of a coach in a selected pool that is rented. The second method is to build a pool with other constructions happening at Bennett High School and let all Wacomico County High School swimmers practice there. Once charges transform into a reasonable amount, expenses can be divided among members of a swim team to make it affordable to all swimmers. If swimmers compete with other high schools, such as Thomas Stone High School and St. Charles High School, they will have a better chance to compete in district, state, and also national meets. Competitions help swimmers improve their timing. But the most fascinating part about swimming is that unlike other sports, if you meet the cutoff time, you will certainly get an opportunity to compete. In addition, being in a swim team will help students get university admission with financial assistance because universities provide a significant number of scholarships to swimmers. This proposal to have swim teams in Wacomico Public Schools will open doors for students to get financial assistance in universities. In conclusion, introducing swim teams to Wacomico County Public Schools will help create a more diverse group of athletes. Also, it will allow better student participation because of affordable prices, and ultimately this might be the first step to bring Olympic gold medals to Salisbury. Thank you.
Hi, again, my name is Ahmed.
So together as Salisbury Wacomico Youth Civics Council, we worked on a community initiative, and it was PLARN. So what is PLARN? So PLARN is plastic yarn upcycled from plastic bags, and PLARN mats can provide adequate insulation from the cold ground, but it also possesses superior qualities such as water resistance, lightness, and durability.
Okay, so why is PLARN important? Now, homelessness is kind of a big problem in Salisbury. I know that when Mayor Day was here, he talked to us about homelessness in Utah and how it was a problem and how the state government took steps to reduce it. Now, here in Salisbury, we, at the local level, nor at the state level, we haven't done anything yet to go towards solving the homelessness crisis. So homelessness is still a very pervasive issue in Wacomico County. And while there are services that provide shelter, food, or other other services for homeless people, they're only temporary. So they're only a temporary fix because they can't keep homeless people at the shelter all the time because they have to make room for other homeless people. So as a result of this, a lot of homeless people spend much of their year sleeping outside with little protection from the elements such as rain, snow, and any of the other stuff that might be outside when they're not in a shelter. In the winter, this is a particularly problematic issue because of the lack of insulation from the ground, because of, again, snow, and because of rain that ruins a lot of the shoes of homeless people, which makes it a lot harder to move from place to place.
So how is PLARN made? A first step, we have to collect plastic bags, and we've done that at our where we meet for meetings, we have received donations for plastic bags. And so what you do with the plastic bags is you cut off the handle and you cut off the bottom and you cut them to like 1-inch squares, and they turn out to be like a little circle. You tie them together and then you just keep doing that and roll them into a ball. And then after that, the plastic balls must be knitted or crocheted into mats. So first, bags will be collected from community members. Then workshops will be taught on how to create plarn and how to knit or crochet mats. And then after that, it will work in an assembly line. And this network will be part of an interconnected and sustainable cycle of collecting bags, making plarn, and assembling mats for the homeless.
For our overall impact, in addition to addressing 2 community issues at once, one for recycling with reusing the plastic bags and the other one with helping fight the effects of homelessness, this project will also foster a sense of community in the area. As we hope to get a lot of people to participate in the Plarn initiative, and hopefully we can teach a lot of people to make Plarn. And once we get this going, we're hoping that it'll kind of start up and we can get a lot more people interested. And so we'll end up getting Plarn to grow a lot more and the Plarn initiative to grow. So once we have an established network in place, this project will catalyze future community initiatives and projects, hopefully more projects to help the homeless once people figure out, once people really figure out the homeless problem we have here in Salisbury. And this project will also be a first step for the Salisbury-Wicomico Youth Civics Council towards working on sustainable community initiatives.
Thank you.
Once again, thank you for coming out this evening to support the Youth Civics Council. In closing, I have to say, as the coordinator this year, it's been a pleasure to work with these students. They're very inspiring to me with their dedication to community issues and their passion to make change in the community. I look forward to seeing all they do in the future and all the Youth Civics Council does in future years as well. If you're an 8th through 12th grade student, or you know an 8th through 12th grade student that is interested in being in the program next year, just send an email. My email address is in the program, so you can take that with you. Just to give you a brief timeline of what that looks like for next year, if a student is interested in applying, the deadline for the application is the end of September. And this next year, we're hoping to get the Youth Civics Council more in charge of our operation. So they're going to help look through the applicant pool anonymously and select the next year's council. And they'll also be in the interview committee to hire new program coordinators. So I'm excited that we're giving them the reins more next year and in the future. So the applications, like I said, are due the end of September, and by the first week of October, the applicants will be notified whether or not they've been accepted into the program. If you're a community member and you want to get involved with the Youth Civics Council next year, if you have a community idea, a proposal, or a service project, or you want to be a guest speaker at one of our meetings, you can also contact that email address and I'll get back to you, or the new program coordinator will get back to you. Lastly, if you want to learn to make plarn, we have a ton of bags donated by the Maryland Youth Advisory Council, and we brought some scissors, so you can stick around and we'll show you how to make that if you're interested. And also, if you want to get involved in Plarn Beyond today, you can email and get in touch and be involved in the movement as it grows. So once again, thank you for your support and being here, and can we get another round of applause for the students? Also, I've printed copies of the final report, so everything they presented tonight, they've written proposals formally, and you can take one of those as you leave. Again, thank you for being here and have a lovely evening.